I just saw someone with whom I went out on a date with. A date. I was at a friend of mine's birthday party. And this particular person was the event planner of the birthday party. So while I'm at, my friend's birthday party, at this time I hadn't gotten a number, we hadn't conversed or anything of that nature. But so I'm watching her because I don't just look at somebody and say, oh, I got to get a number. No, I got to watch you. So while I'm watching her, this other beautiful woman came and sat next to me, and she was very flirty. She was very kind, and she very touchy-feely, right? Very touchy-feely. So she said, well, maybe you and I, can hang up. She was talking about places that she likes to go and so forth. She said, maybe you and I, can hang out. But my eyes was on the event planner. The conversation that she's giving is cool, but I'm not connecting with her. She's connecting with me, but I'm not connecting with her. See, there's some people that will connect with you, but you don't connect with them. Yeah, and it's a dangerous thing to force a connection, because then you're connecting with the person out of either lust or comfort, and you're omitting or you're not paying attention to that there's really no connection. But anyway, I digress. So, we sitting there. The event planner walked over to us, right? And said something to the girl that was sitting next to me. I said, who is she? Right? She said, oh, that's my sister. But she didn't know that I was locked in to her sister, right? So I knew that in order to get her sister, I had to get away from her. So I got up, I stood, I went over there by the door, and I'm observing, the sister who was the event planner. So, went over and I got a number. I said, well, come on. We started conversing. I said, well, what you doing this weekend? And so I said, well, let's go get something to eat. So this is why it's important that you always listen to every word a person is saying while they are with you, because it's in the context clues of what they're saying that gives them away. And I'm going to tell you what I did so that you won't do it. So while we're there, I just got my facial and all that, blah, blah, and all that, right? So while we're there, she says, you know what? I don't want to date a man that look better than me. How do you determine that? She said, I don't want to date a man who look better than me, who dress better than me, and so on and so forth. When she said that, it was a trigger. I'm sorry, it was a red flag when she said that. But I still went on hoping that the date would get better in my estimation. You know what I mean? So I take it to Washington, D.C., nice rooftop, at a nice rooftop dinner. The bill came, bill like $280, but like $280 or whatever, right? And sometimes as men, we want that follow through, because we're spending all this money, you know what I'm saying? But that's where maturity comes in, because, it's not even about the money. So after that, then we went to go get some ice cream in Georgetown. We had Haagen-Dazs. So then she says that, I said, well, what happened, between you and the last person you talked to? She said he was too metrosexual, right? And I'm like, what you mean? Yeah, his nails was more shinier than mine. So I looked at my nails. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, that's what we doing now? You know what I'm saying? But don't do what I did in my immaturity, because I spent so much money already. I wanted to have some follow through. I'm hiding my nails at this point. Yeah, I'm hiding my nails at this point. Don't do that. Don't dumb me down for anybody. So we're driving and so like I'm trying to end the date now because she doing too much. And but then in the back of my mind I think about the amount of money that I spent, and I mean she got a good vibe about herself. A good vibe. But I don't know that the vibe was really in existence because sometimes we can make ourselves feel a certain type of way towards a person. Yeah. That we can create a vibe in our mind that really doesn't exist. Yeah. So, we were talking, and I just thought about it. That I'm not her type. Cook, what do you mean you're not her type? I keep my nails done. I keep my maintenance up. And I don't know if she may feel I look bad. I don't know. But I'm not her type, and I got to be okay with that. And I'm saying all that to say that you may not be you are not everybody's cup of tea. You're not everybody's type, and you got to be okay with that. Regardless if you put some money up, regardless if you slept with them, regardless if you've conversed with them for hours or you've invested time and attention, you are not their type. And you have to be willing to walk away from walk away for what's not yours, from what's not yours. Yeah, you got to leave that. Leave them. Why? Because you're wasting time on something that gives you comfort, but there's no true connection. Yeah, you're wasting time on something or somebody that gives you comfort for the moment, but there's no true connection. Yeah. Sometimes we date people or we continue dating a person out of potential versus their presence. We ignore their presence. We ignore what they are, what they're presenting to us right now, because in our mind, we think that we can develop them into being somebody that we want them to be, or eventually we'll connect. No, you can't date potential and ignore presence. Yeah, what is their presence to you? What is their presence saying to you right there when you're with them? What is their eyes saying? What is their energy saying? What are they saying verbally? Yeah. So 3 things. Yeah, don't dummy down. Listen to context clues and follow through all those context clues, because context clues will lead you to the red flag. It'll lead you there. And I'm still popping. I just got my facial. Mm-hmm. Put a little thing on. You want somebody that's going to see your glow and not dim your lights. Let's go.